upon a time, there was a princess. She was a very lovely girl, as most world maidens are, and was a very sweet and kind-hearted princess too. Her father had not started any wars and had not made any enemies, so it was assumed the princess had nothing to fear as she went through the marketplace almost daily to be with her subjects. And yet it wasn't all fun and games as All Hallows' Eve approached. Many of the townsfolk were making preparations to ward off the spirits as the troubled night approached. In the time the princess had been alive, she'd heard many stories and rumors about the cursed day. People changed into monsters or spirited away, but had a hard time believing it was the day itself that caused them and not just the typical magical pests. As the princess went about making sure all the preparations were in order, she stopped and noted a pile of uncarved pumpkins sitting off to the side. The legend said that the ghosts were easily spooked, so carving something with a scary face scared them away. The princess didn't get why pumpkins were chosen beyond easy carving, but they had hundreds delivered each year. Deciding to help out, the princess found a carving knife and decided to try carving a few. As the princess started to reach down to pick her pumpkin, she heard a cry of "Stop" from the pile. She stepped back as an odd little figure emerged from the pile, what appeared to be a pumpkin already carved yet mobile, somewhat human-like in her movements on top of her ability to speak.
"What's the big idea messing with all my pumpkins?"
she said in annoyance to the princess, who was still a bit baffled by the little creature. The princess, not one to lie, was quick to apologize and admit the truth to the upset gourd. The pumpkin mage simply sighed in annoyance.
"Figured as much. Happens all the time now. It used to be turnips, but that stupid turnip mage pointing everyone to pumpkins as being easier to carve,"
she said before turning her wand on the princess, changing her into a pumpkin-like form.
"But I have an idea on how you might appease me from cursing your whole town."
Thus, in her new form, the princess was sent out by the mage. Her goal was to gather as much food and treats from the townsfolk as possible, bringing them to the mage as an appeasement to prevent her from harming her kingdom. The villagers were surprised at first as she went door to door, but were happy to help with what they could for their princess, stuffing the princess with as much as they could offer, and as much as her body could hold. Believing her body was just a cavity like any other jack-o'-lantern, the princess ate as much of the food and treats as she could, storing them inside of her, sometimes just placing a few down into the lower mouth. However, when she returned to the mage, the pumpkin looked at her in annoyance.
"Where's my offerings?"
she asked. The princess blinked and looked down, only to find a large tongue licking her lips. She just swallowed up all the candy in one gulp. Then something strange began to occur as the princess began to change once more, but not of the pumpkin mage's doing. Her body morphed, a dress forming once more, though it still felt connected to her, as a new level of connection to the pumpkins around her formed too.
"Uh-oh,"
the mage said, backing up as it looked at the princess, no longer under her power, as the power of the food and magic changed her into a pumpkin sorceress. The princess turned to the gourd mage, who just looked sheepish now.
Come on, like I knew that would happen to you. I was hoping to power myself up and take over the kingdom,"
she began, but didn't get to finish as the princess formed a giant pumpkin under the little one and sent the little mage flying up into the air and out of her kingdom. The princess smiled, feeling the worst was behind them as she summoned the people out to celebrate the victory. For the first time, Hallows' Eve became a night of celebration and fun. In the years to follow, the night soon became one of fun and games, people mimicking the princess's treat trek as they played and laughed all through the night. No spirit, if there were any, dared to enter the town now on this night, for what was more scary than a carved pumpkin than a pumpkin sorceress?